DC Studios desperately needed a comeback, but what happened next may have made things even worse. Just hours after Supergirl officially arrived on digital, fresh reactions, disappointing momentum, and new comments from Millie Alcock have put the movie back in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. And if the early signs are anything to go by, James Gunn could be facing another difficult chapter for the DC Universe. So what exactly is happening, and why are fans debating this movie all over again? Let's get into it. Before we jump in, subscribe to the Woke Watch and turn on notifications. We cover the biggest Hollywood controversies, DC news, Marvel updates, and box office stories every single day. Now, let's begin. As of July 29, 2026, Supergirl has officially made the jump from theaters to digital platforms, giving audiences the option to either rent or purchase the movie. It's important to point out that this is not the streaming release. This is the premium digital window, where viewers have to pay separately if they want to watch the film at home. For DC Studios and Warner Brothers, this release was expected to be an opportunity to regain some momentum after the movie's disappointing theatrical run. Instead, the conversation surrounding the film appears to be heading in the opposite direction. Reports of weak pre-order activity had already raised concerns before the digital launch, and now that the movie is officially available, there doesn't seem to be much excitement surrounding its release. Rather than generating a fresh wave of interest, the film is struggling to create meaningful buzz among both casual moviegoers and longtime DC fans. And that's where the story becomes even more interesting. As the movie transitions into its digital release, several of the people most closely connected to the project, including James Gunn, Millie Alcock, writer Ana Nogueira, and even Warner Brothers leadership, continue defending the film while encouraging audiences to give it another chance outside of theaters. But despite those efforts, many observers remain skeptical that digital sales alone can significantly change the movie's overall financial picture. Realistically, even if the film performs better at home than it did in theaters, digital revenue would likely recover only a small portion of the losses associated with such a large-scale production. Whether that ends up being a few $1,000,000 or more remains to be seen, but many analysts believe it won't dramatically change the overall outcome. But then, another development grabbed everyone's attention. While promoting the digital release, Millie Alcock addressed the criticism surrounding Supergirl, explaining how difficult it had been to deal with the reaction after the film premiered. She said she was grateful for the opportunity to play Kara Zor-El, but admitted that the experience became emotionally challenging because of the negative comments she encountered online. According to Alcock, some of the criticism crossed the line into misogynistic and sexist attacks, making it difficult to completely ignore the negativity surrounding the project. However, despite everything that happened during the theatrical release, she made it clear that she does not view Supergirl as a failure. Instead, she echoed comments previously made by James Gunn, arguing that the film now has a second opportunity to reach audiences through digital platforms. According to Alcock, there are many people who skipped the theatrical release but may still decide to watch the movie from home, giving the project another chance to find its audience. She also argued that modern fandom has become increasingly hostile, claiming that review bombing and organized negativity have become common parts of online movie discussions. In her opinion, much of the conversation surrounding Supergirl focused more on outrage than on the film itself. Alcock praised both James Gunn and Ana Nogueira, saying they created one of the strongest superhero stories she has seen in years. She encouraged viewers to judge the movie for themselves rather than relying solely on opinions circulating across social media. She even suggested that Kara's story will play an important role in the future of the DC Universe, especially leading into Man of Tomorrow, making it worthwhile for audiences to understand where her character is heading before the next chapter begins. But that's where the debate becomes much more complicated. Alcock argued that one of the biggest problems facing the movie was that many people confused unfair online attacks with legitimate criticism. She believes those conversations may have influenced public perception, but she rejected the idea that they were responsible for the film failing. Instead, she emphasized that movies now have a second life after theaters through digital platforms, allowing audiences who prefer watching from home to experience the film on their own terms. She also described what she believes is a silent majority of viewers who actually enjoyed the movie but hesitate to defend it publicly because of the overwhelmingly negative atmosphere online. According to her, many fans simply don't want to become targets themselves for expressing a positive opinion. Now, this is where opinions sharply divide. Many critics argue that the discussion isn't really about gender at all. Instead, they believe most of the backlash comes from dissatisfaction with the screenplay, character development, pacing, and overall storytelling. From that perspective, the criticism centers on creative decisions rather than the people involved in making the movie. Some viewers have even claimed they lost interest relatively early into the film, saying the story failed to keep them engaged. Whether audiences agree with that assessment or not, it's clear that reactions to Supergirl remain deeply divided. And then there's the digital performance itself. The disappointing pre-order numbers had already raised concerns before release, and those concerns continue now that the movie is available for purchase and rental. Unlike streaming, where viewers simply press play as part of an existing subscription, premium digital requires an additional payment, making it a much harder sell, especially for a movie that already struggled to generate positive word of mouth during its theatrical run. Because of that, many industry observers believe digital sales may remain relatively modest compared to what the studio originally hoped. Streaming, whenever it eventually arrives, could potentially attract a much larger audience simply because the barrier to entry is much lower. Alcock also spoke about Kara herself. She pushed back against claims that the character lacks redeeming qualities or fails to serve as a positive role model. According to her, audiences need to experience the full story before making that judgment. She believes Kara's journey contains important themes that resonate with women and girls, but argues those themes are easy to overlook if people dismiss the film before actually watching it. For Alcock, the digital release gives viewers another opportunity to evaluate the movie based on their own experience rather than online discussions. Meanwhile, questions surrounding DC Studios continue to grow. The film's performance has once again placed attention on James Gunn's leadership and the creative direction of the new DC universe. Gunn has previously stated that he reviewed Ana Nogueira's screenplay multiple times before approving it for production, and he has continued defending both the movie and its creative team despite the criticism. At the same time, reports continue circulating about internal discussions regarding future DC projects, including Wonder Woman, although the studio has not publicly confirmed every claim being discussed online. Regardless of what happens next, it's obvious that Supergirl's digital release has done more than simply move the movie from theaters to home audiences. It has reopened the same debate surrounding the film's reception, its creative direction, and the future of the DC universe. So now the question shifts to you. Do you think Supergirl still has a chance to build a larger audience through digital and eventually streaming, or do you believe the movie's overall perception has already been set? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to The Woke Watch, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Hollywood news, DC updates, and entertainment controversies. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.